Good morning, friends. I am Dr. Nikunj Patel, Department of Biochemistry. Today we are discuss about the uronic acid pathway in carbohydrate metabolism. Uronic acid pathway. It is a for glucose oxidation leading to formation of the glucuronic acid and pentose sugar. Significance of uronic acid pathway. Intermediates of uronic acid pathway like UDP glucose, UDP glucuronic acid and ascorbic acid are utilized for various other synthesis or other metabolism. Like UDP glucose, it is used for the glycogen metabolism, also used for the galactose metabolism and lactose synthesis. Another intermediate are UDP glucuronic acid. It is required for the detoxification reaction in the liver. It is also required for the mucopolysaccharide glucosaminoglycase synthesis. In case of the lower animals, not in the human being, vitamin C are also synthesized in the uronic acid pathway. Reaction of the uronic acid pathway include glucose 6-phosphate. It is converted into the glucose 1-phosphate by mutase enzyme. Glucose 1-phosphate, it is converted into the UDP glucose by UDP glucose pyrophosphorylase, in which UTP are the utilized and pyrophosphate it is a release. So from the UDP it is a transfer over the glucose and produce the UDP glucose. It is required for the various reaction of the glycogen metabolism. Then UDP glucose, it is converted into the UDP glucuronate with the help of dehydrogenase enzyme. UDP glucuronate are converted into the D-glucuronate and D-glucuronate is finally converted into the L-gluconate. The L-gluconate have a two fat, one for the pentose sugar, xylose, and second for the ascorbate. The ascorbate pathway does not happen in the human beings because that is in the human being lack of the enzyme L-guanolactone oxidase. It is required for the synthesis of the ascorbic acid in the human being. So it does not present. So ascorbic acid or vitamin C does not synthesize in the human being. It is occur in the lower animal. Second pathway, it is for the pentose sugar and the occur in the human beings. L-gluconate are converted into the L-xylulose. L-xylulose are converted into the xylitol with the help of xylitol dehydrogenase enzyme. Remember that enzyme are the importance. Whenever the enzyme are the deficient, what happens that xylulose sugar are the increase in the blood. That is a pentose sugar and ultimately excreted in the urine. That is known as a essential pentosuria. Finally, that xylitol, it is converted into the D-xylulose and further it is metabolized into the glycolate and oxalate. It may be entered into the HMP shunt pathway. So, that glucuronic acid pathway, it is mainly utilized for the synthesis of UDP glucose, UDP glucuronic acid and that xylitol, pentose sugar. Disorder related to the uronic acid pathway, it is the essential pentosuria. We have already discussed that it is autosomal recessive condition due to deficiency of xylitol dehydrogenase enzyme. It is required for conversion of xylulose to xylitol. So xylulose are the excreted in the urine. It is a part of Garrott tetrad. Garrott tetrad includes cystinuria, pentosuria, alkaptonuria and albinism. So that pentosuria, it is a part of Garrott tetrad. Diagnosis, it is based on Benedict test because xylulose, it is a reducing sugar, so it gives the positive Benedict test. It does not glucose, so glucose strip test, it is a negative, remember, and bile test, it is also positive. That gives the green color when heated with the bile reagent. It is a on phenol in HCl. The pentose sugar, it react with the bile reagent and gives the green color. So it is all about the uronic acid pathway. Thank you.
Hello friends, I am Dr. Nikunj Patel, Assistant Professor in Department of Biochemistry. In today's lecture, we will learn about carbohydrate metabolism, that includes galactose and fructose metabolism. Galactose metabolism. Source of the galactose are, it may be exogenous or endogenous. Exogenous include most commonly milk that contain the lactose. It is degraded by lactase enzyme in intestine and produce glucose and galactose. In the endogenous source, glucose itself converted into the galactose and provide the galactose in blood. Use of the galactose in our body, they are mainly utilized for the energy purpose after conversion into the glucose. It may be utilized for the synthesis of the lactose in lactating mother for milk formation, and most commonly use of the galactose are, it is required for the synthesis of glycoprotein, glycolipid and various glucose aminoglycan. Site of the galactose metabolism are liver. Remember, galactose, it is only metabolized in the liver. That's why galactose metabolism test, it may be utilized to assess the function of the liver. That is a reaction to the galactose metabolism include galactose first metabolized into the galactose 1-phosphate. That step, it is catalyzed by the galactokinase enzyme. The step requires the energy. Galactokinase enzyme, it is a magnesium dependent enzyme. Galactose 1-phosphate, it is converted into the UDP galactose. The step, it is catalyzed by the galactose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase enzyme. Galactose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase enzyme. The step requires the UDP glucose as a substrate. In which reaction UDP glucose converted into the glucose 1-phosphate and galactose 1-phosphate converted into the UDP galactose. That enzyme are the present in the body since birth. UDP galactose, it is synthesized from galactose 1-phosphate by uridyl transferase enzyme. It may be synthesized from galactose 1-phosphate by another enzyme that is known as a galactose 1-phosphate pyrophosphorylase. But remember that enzyme, it is active after around 4 to 5 years of birth. So since birth, only one enzyme it is active, uridyl transferase. After 4 to 5 years, second enzyme it may be active. It is a galactose 1-phosphate pyrophosphorylase that can convert the galactose 1-phosphate into the UDP galactose. And finally, that UDP galactose may convert into the UDP glucose by another enzyme that is known as UDP hexose epimerase, also known as UDP galactose epimerase. That step, it is a reversible process. So in our body, UDP glucose can convert into the UDP galactose, or UDP galactose can convert into the UDP glucose. And that UDP glucose are reutilized for the further metabolism of the galactose. So that is all about the galactose metabolism. So remember, mainly 3 enzymes, it is important for the galactose metabolism. Galactokinase, uridyl transferase, and third one, it is apimerase. That enzyme, it is also rolled after the 4 to 5. Galactosemia, it is a metabolic disorder related to the galactose metabolism. Whenever the enzyme deficiency, like galactokinase or galactose 1-phosphate butyryltransferase, or it may be hexose epimerase. Any of three enzymes are the deficient that may lead to the increase the level of the galactose 1-phosphate, or it may be leads to the increase the level of the galactose in the blood. That is known as a galactosemia. So it is autosomal recessive disorder, remember, or it may be due to the deficiency of galactose 1-phosphate butyryltransferase. It is a more severe form. Typically, symptoms are the start in the first week of birth, mainly in the later part of the first week of the birth. Biochemical abnormality behind the galactosemia include accumulation of the galactose 1-phosphate because it cannot convert into the UDP galactose that leads to the inhibition of the glycogen phosphorylase. That enzyme it is required for the glycogenolysis, and that leads to the hypoglycemia. That is the most common clinical features of the galactosemic patient. Second, accumulation of the galactose 1-phosphate can damage the various organs, include liver, brain, and kidney. Accumulation of the galactose can lead to the galactosuria and galactosemia. Because galactose it is an osmotically active particle, so whenever it is present in the renal tubule, when it is excess, it leads to the polyuria or galactose. Galactose reduced to the galactitol. When galactose level are the increase in the cell due to deficiency of the any one of three enzymes, that accumulated galactose it is reduced to the galactitol, that is also known as a dalkitol. That is a osmotically again active molecule, and that leads to the osmotically damage to the various tissue or cell, include CNS, that the mental retardation that can damage the lens tissue and leads to the congenital cataract. So it is again clinical features of the galactosemic patient: mental retardation and cataract formation. It is sometimes known as a oil drop cataract or congenital cataract. Remember the two symptoms, mental retardation and congenital cataract, are irreversible change in galactosemic patients. Proper treatment that symptoms cannot be. In the liver damage, it may lead to the increase the unconjugated bilirubin and leads to jaundice. So that is a basic behind the symptoms or clinical features in galactosemic patients. So overall clinical features are the start in galactosemia in first week after the birth, on ingestion of the dairy product, mainly milk. It is leads to the diarrhea and vomiting. 5 are common symptoms in newborn baby. Hepatomegaly and jaundice lead to the liver failure finally. CNS damage lead to the mental retardation. Lens damage lead to the oil drop cataract, and galactosuria that leads to the polyuria. Diagnosis are based on clinical symptoms. It may be by the screening test and confirmed by the various confirmatory tests. Screening tests include positive Benedict test with negative glucose oxidase test, mucic acid test for the galactose detection in the urine, and paper chromatography. They are the screening tests. Confirmatory tests are increase the level of the blood galactose level. Second, measurement of the enzyme activity in the RBC, mainly galactose 1-phosphate activity are the reduced in the RBC in galactosemic patients.
treatment and mostly symptomatic in nature. Galactose-free diet are the advisable to the galactosemic patient, mainly till the age of the 4 to 5 years.
All the symptoms except CNS damage symptom like matter retardation
and lens damage symptoms like cataract. That galactose-free diet, it is required mainly to the up to 5 years of the age, because after the 5 years,
this galactose 1-phosphate pyrophosphorylase, it is active and that can convert the UDP galactose into the that can convert
galactose 1-phosphate into the UDP galactose that may further convert into the UDP glucose and metabolized by glycolytic pathway.
Second metabolism is fructose metabolism. Fructose, it is a ketohexose sugar. Main source of the fructose is fructose are metabolized by mainly two pathways, fructokinase pathway and hexokinase pathway. That pathway are mainly occur in the liver. Fructose in the presence of the fructokinase enzyme produce the fructose. Dilate the sugar at the 1 position, whereas in case of the hexokinase, that phosphorylate the sugar at the 6 position. So in presence of the fructokinase, fructose converted into the fructose 1-phosphate. Fructose 1-phosphate are break by aldolase B enzyme into dihydroxyacetone phosphate, that is known as a DHAP, and second glycerol. Same type of the enzyme can present in the glycolysis pathway. It is known as aldolase A that breaks the fructose 1,6-biphosphate into DHAP as well as glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Here only glyceraldehyde, here glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, because here biphosphate are the present, 1,6-biphosphate. In the case of the fructose, only 1 phosphate are there. So that phosphate are incorporated into the DHAP, dihydroxyacetone phosphate, and glyceraldehyde. Triose sugar, it is phosphorylated by the triose kinase and produce the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So both intermediate of the glycolysis are produced by the fructose metabolism that can enter into the glycolysis pathway for the further oxidation, or it can produce the glucose by gluconeogenesis. So fructose by fructokinase pathway can enter into the glycolysis or can produce the glucose by gluconeogenesis. So we have to mainly focus on the enzyme, two enzymes, fructokinase and aldolase B. Aldolase A are mainly utilized in the glycolysis and B for the fructose metabolism. Remember, in the fructose metabolism, that is metabolized by the fructokinase, in which regulatory steps of the glucokinase as well as fructose phosphofructokinase 1 are not present. So regulation of the fructose metabolism are not present till DHAP and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate are synthesized. So fructose are rapidly metabolized compared to the glucose, because in the case of the glucose metabolism, regulatory step of glucokinase and PFK1 are present, but in case of the fructose, the step are bypassed. That's why fructose, it is a rapidly metabolized than glucose, because both regulatory step, it is a bypass in fructose metabolism. So it gives the more flux of the glycolysis, DHAP and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. It by more glucose oxidation like pyruvate and ultimately acetyl CoA, it is utilized for the more fatty acid synthesis. It gives the more amount of the DHAP that ultimately utilized for the more triacylglycerol synthesis. So overall lipid synthesis are increased when fructose Specifically in the fructose disorder, when fructose 1-phosphate are the more accumulated, that inhibit the glycogen phosphorylate enzyme, same like the galactose 1-phosphate, and lead to the hypoglycemia. Remember, fructose, it is a energy to sperm in the semen. It is a secreted, fructose mainly secreted by seminal vesicle. So it is required for the source of the energy in the sperm. It can metabolize by the hexokinase pathway. Hexokinase, we have already discussed that phosphorylate the sugar at the 6th position. So it is metabolized the same way like the glucose in the glycolysis pathway. Disorder of the fructose metabolism are mainly two: hereditary fructose intolerance and fructosuria. The most common, it is a hereditary fructose intolerance. It is a most severe among the two. It is autosomal recessive in nature. Enzyme deficiency are aldolase B. So in that case, fructose 1-phosphate are accumulated, and that it is ultimately cause for the various biochemical effect. Clinical features include vomiting, failure to thrive, same like the galactose. Same. Hypoglycemia due to the inhibition of the glycogen phosphorylase. Liver failure due to the accumulation of the fructose 1-phosphate that damages the liver. Diagnosis: positive Benedict test and negative glucose oxidase test. Along with that, specific test for the fructose are positive Selivanov test. Measurement of the activity of the aldolase B in a liver biopsy can be used. Treatment: avoid the sugar that contain the fructose are sucrose and directly fructose in the diet. Essential fructosuria, it is a comparatively less severe disorder. Mainly clinical features are not seen except polyuria. So fructosuria, essential fructosuria, we should be differentiated from the glycosuria to exclude the juvenile diabetes, especially in the newborn, because it is also present in the newborn juvenile diabetes. Otherwise, no clinical symptoms are seen in fructose. Only polyuria are seen. It is also autosomal recessive in the nature. Enzyme deficiency, it is a fructokinase. It is a first enzyme for the fructose metabolism. Thank you. Stay home. Be safe.
Glucose tolerant test overview. It is used for the ability to utilize the carbohydrate. In case of the insulin deficiency, absolute or relative blood glucose level gets elevated due to impaired utilization of glucose. In GTT overview, fasting and after glucose load, blood as well as urine sample are collected and tested for glucose. Condition in which decreased glucose tolerance: diabetes mellitus, hyperactivity of anterior pituitary and adrenal cortex, hyperthyroidism, and stress, in which decrease the glucose tolerance occur. Increase the glucose tolerance means hypoglycemia occur in hypothyroidism, increase the insulin level in case of insulinoma, decrease GIT absorption of glucose or carbohydrate like malabsorption syndrome like celiac disease, or indication for the GTT. All the asymptomatic person with sustained or transient glycosuria, in person with symptoms of diabetes but does not have glycosuria or hyperglycemia, person with family history of diabetes mellitus but no symptoms or positive blood finding, patient with unknown origin of neuropathy and retinopathy, and in the woman with history of delivered large baby or for the diagnosis of GDM, gestational diabetes mellitus. Here are the various indication for the GTT, glucose tolerance test. Contraindication for the GTT are acutely ill patient, already proven case of the diabetes mellitus, and it does not recommended for the follow-up of patient. Preparation for the GTT. It is common for the all type of GTT, including good carbohydrate diet for at least 3 days prior to the test and around 30 to 50 gram of the glucose or carbohydrate diet evening before the test. Avoid the drug that influence the glucose level at least 2 days previously. Avoid the smoking and avoid the strenuous exercise on previous day of test. Various type of GTT include standard oral glucose tolerance test, mini glucose tolerance test, GTT for GDM, and intravenous glucose tolerance test. Standard glucose tolerance test. It is a standard oral glucose tolerance test. Means glucose load are given orally. On the test day in the morning around 8 am, fasting blood and urine sample are collected before glucose load. It is counted as the zero sample. After that, glucose load around 75 gram of anhydrous glucose dissolved in 200 to 300 ml of water is given over the period of 5 to 10 minutes to avoid the nausea or uneasiness. Collect half hourly blood sample for 2.5 hours. Total 6 samples including fasting are collected. In case of the children, glucose load are calculated as 1.75 gram per kilogram of body weight. Glucose level are plotted on y-axis against the time on x-axis to draw the GTT curve. Yellow, it is a GTT for normal patient in which glucose peak are the occur at around 60 minutes after glucose load, and it is become normal around 150 minutes after glucose load. In case of the diabetes mellitus, that peak it is occur around 1.5 hours after the glucose load, and overall that curve it is above the normal range and renal threshold around 180 milligram per deciliter. Drawback of standard oral GTT, it is required too many samples. To overcome this, mini GTT is developed and accepted by WHO. In case of the mini GTT, only 2 samples of blood and urine are collected, one at the fasting, means before the glucose load, and second it is 2 hours after glucose load. Glucose load are same as standard oral glucose tolerance test. Interpretation of mini GTT include, if for the normal patient fasting blood sugar it is less than 110 milligram per deciliter, and 2 hours after glucose load it is less than 140 milligram per deciliter. If it is more than 126 milligram per deciliter and post glucose load 2 hours it is more than 200 milligram per deciliter, it is counted as the diagnosis of DM. If results are in between the normal and cutoff range of the diabetes mellitus, it is known as the impaired glucose tolerance. Means for the fasting it is in between 110 to 126 milligram per deciliter, it is known as the impaired glucose tolerance. If it is for the PP2BS 140 to 200 milligram per deciliter, it is counted as a impaired glucose tolerance. Glucose tolerance test for the pregnant woman, it is used for diagnosis of GDM. Gestational diabetes is a condition in which diabetes it is diagnosed for the first time during the pregnancy, in which one step or two step approach are taken for diagnosis at 28 week of pregnancy. One step approach, it is more or less same like the mini GTT. 75 gram glucose load are given and 3 samples are taken, fasting 1 hour and 2 hours. If fasting it is more than 92 milligram per deciliter, 1 hour it is more than 180 milligram per deciliter, or 2 hour it is more than 153 milligram per deciliter. Out of 3, if any sample, any result, it is more than that cutoff range, it is counted as a GDM, gestational diabetes mellitus. In some patients, two-step approach may be taken. In two-step approach, first 50 gram glucose load are given for the screening of the patient. If it is a positive, then second step means 100 gram glucose load are given. If 50 gram glucose load and 1 hour GTT are taken positive, if it is more than 135 milligram per deciliter. If it is a positive in screening test, then 100 gram glucose load are the given and GTT done for the 3 hours. Fasting 1 hour, 2 hour and 3 hour sample are taken. Out of the 4 sample, if 2 sample are more than cutoff range, it is counted as a GDM. Intravenous GTT indication for the patient with malabsorption syndrome like celiac disease, spur, enteropathy, in which glucose does not absorb properly, so oral glucose tolerance test does not give the consistent result, in which intravenous GTT are done. In case of the IV, glucose load are given as per 25 gram glucose in 100 ml distilled water over the 5 minutes. It is taken as a 0 time. After that, every 10 minutes sample are taken for next 1 hour. Interpretation: in case of the normal individual, blood glucose level become normal within the 60 minutes, but in case of the diabetes, does not happen and decline. It is a slowly. It takes say more than 1 hour. Thank you.